I am your, what am I today?
Host?
I'm either long-suffering or erstwhile. Today I'm just a pretty content, happy ranch manager, Kelly. It's a gorgeous day. Weather is perfect. The big blue Montana sky is gorgeous. I crossed the river this morning and it was amazing. Today is Thursday, close to 2 o'clock, and this is at the Corral. Thanks for visiting with us today. Hope you know him, you love him. Look who's here. Erskine! And you know her, you love her, Tara, Montana Jane.
Hi, guys.
So we're back. She's back to work with Erskine and talk to me about what's going on. And as you probably know, they've had an adventure, at least one adventure.
We've had several,
they were at
one big guy.
Tana's place just this side of Hamilton. And we'll hear about that. Erskine, by the way, proved himself quite heroic. And Tana also asked me to set up some obstacles in the arena, hopefully things he's never seen before. So we can do a little bit of that. And I'm so glad they're here. And I'm so glad you're here with us today.
Good
so
boy.
I'm going to...
Hello, you're such a good boy.
Tana, you're live too.
Oh, I was talking to Erskine.
Hope it was good. Hope it was nice.
It was. I was telling him what a good boy he is.
He is a good boy. So I don't know, it was on Facebook, and I think the link was actually shared in our chat about your adventure with, we love Taylor too.
Yes, Taylor.
So briefly, what happened?
So it was a trail ride, a loop out behind my place that we've done a number of times before, and basically what happened, it's what can happen at any time. You know, the horse made a bad call, and instead of going over a log, she'd gone over a dozen times before, she decided it looked like a better way to follow the log down into this really thick treed in, logs down, underbrush, and Taylor came off, and she was riding with her son Gordon. This was on her personal horse again, who'd done this a million times, and yeah, luckily, man, mom reflexes kicked in. She held hold of Gordon, Bree,
The horse.
The
Pregnant horse.
Fingers crossed. Pig chick's coming soon. And Bree just kind of peeled off and got stuck, and all these ponderosas that were just, you know, side by side by side.
Oh.
And yeah, so I was on Erskine, and
The horse who didn't want to move.
the horse initially who didn't want to move, who's a different horse. You guys can probably see that right now. He has life to him.
Yes.
Okay. And we're at 2 weeks now that we've been together, and I just absolutely love him. He's a very intelligent horse, and turns out he's a very willing horse. Who knew?
So you hauled butt.
Yeah, so basically I got over to Taylor and Gordon, and I got them out, and then tried to get Bree out for about 20 minutes.
Oh, is that right?
And I was like, ain't gonna happen without a chainsaw. And so I grabbed Mr. Erskine. I was like, okay, Chubby, let's hustle. And so we loped all the way home, saw another rider. And I was, bye, Matt. It was Mustang Matt. And oh yeah, he lives right up by me.
Okay.
And peeled in, and
that was a couple miles out or a mile out?
It was about 3 miles.
Oh man.
Yeah, and peeled in, and I had the thought of like, oh, I should just grab Anya. But I'm like, Anya's way out in the back 20 corner, and I'm like, by the time I grab her, saddle her up, because I knew she could haul a chainsaw off her butt and peel up there real fast. I was like, by the time I do that, it'll negate any time that me and Erskine might have, like, kind of talking about what we have to do.
Sure.
And so I'm like, let's just grab the chainsaw and boogie. So I do that and strap the sucker on the back of the saddle and take off with one hand on the chainsaw handle so it's not slapping him in the butt.
Sure.
And what do you know? He just, whoop, he had
a job to do.
He had a job to do. He knew something bad had happened and that we were maybe heading home to do something about it, and turned him right back out, and there he went. And so we walked, trotted and loped, and at one point I ran up a hill with him because it was too steep to kind of save a little time. And got up there and sawed Bree out, and everybody was fine.
Everybody was fine.
Everybody was just
Even
fine.
You.
Yeah, I was just fine.
Because the emotion, though, it's it's intense.
Oh, yeah. It's one of those things that like you live for it, but you hope it never happens.
Yeah.
You know, it's so.
So do you get real chill? And
I'm
in a
super
crisis,
chill.
I just go so chill.
I'm so chill. Yeah, I'm almost like scary chill.
Yeah.
Like, why isn't this chick upset right now? Everybody else is upset, and I'm like, Gordon, give me a high five, and he's like, gives me a high five. I'm like, all right, we're good. You know?
Very good.
So,
And he didn't hesitate.
no, he didn't
He
hesitate.
did it all. Very excellent.
Nope. Yeah, he just went right where I stuck him and tried his hardest whole way up. Man, he was sweating pretty good by the time we got up there, but he did it, and then he took us all the way back home in the near dark. And
Wow. With the chainsaw back here.
with the chainsaw back there. Notice there's a trail saw on my saddle now.
I did. I see. Yeah, that's a good idea.
So,
Here.
anyways, so that's Erskine's heroic story, and he really did wonderful, especially because we'd had a couple rough patches the few days before as he was sort of testing boundaries and wondering what his job was and how much he could get away with. And you can tell, like, even though we had a few hard talks, like, this horse is a little too obsessed with me at this point.
Yes.
He definitely he wants to be near me, which is great. But it's over the top, right? But we're at week 2, so we've got a little ways to go before he's right where
Is
we
this
want him.
common with the horses you have in training?
Yeah,
To
for
like
sure.
to get obsessed with you?
And you know, it's something that it just happens. Like, we work together every day, and it's not just the riding and the stuff like that. It's all the daily care.
Yeah, I had
And-
the 3 new ones in the round pen with me on Tuesday, introducing them to everyone, and they were just here, all 3 of them. It's interesting.
Yep, definitely. So they bond really hard to the people who they see every day, for sure, especially people who go on adventures with them and give them hay and all the things.
It's not about the food, Tana. Come on.
Oh, it's not, but it can be with some
I'm
horses, which you
teasing,
got to be careful of. So, and it's worth pointing out that at my place, this behavior is non-existent. When I tie him up, he's quiet, and he just waits to do his job and stuff like that. So that's one of the reasons it's really valuable when a horse is in training to have a trainer or to do it yourself. Take the horses new places. Right now, he's like, I'm back at Dunrovin. What am I doing here? Are you going to leave me? Are you going to take me with you? Am I going on a trail ride with somebody? He doesn't know what he's doing. And you can see all that anxiety just boiling up in him just wanting to be like right here and be like, don't leave me. You know, and I'm like, it's cool, bud. We're going to have some fun here. So I just want to say real quick, what I'm wanting to do today is Erskine has been spending much time on the trail
And
doing...
Go ahead.
Oh, doing great. Yep, doing fun things. But I know they have some pretty cool obstacles here.
I'm going to set some up while you warm him up.
And so I just want to see and be able to demonstrate the difference in how he crosses, say, obstacles compared to what he did last time. And then also show some of the finer tuning stuff that's going to be coming up in the next 2 weeks. So maybe we're going to start working on a side pass or something like that. So those are the 2 things that I kind of want to cover today.
And gates. That side pass will help us with gates.
Yes, he opened his first gate the other day. You just did so good. You big old monster.
He's so much more alive. You can. I don't know if you probably can't see, but he's. Yeah.
Well, I bet you can see. I mean, that horse last time is.
Yep.
So yeah, no, he's awake, he's alive, he's alert. That's all really good things. His forward is going to be much improved. We'll just see what happens. All right.
And I noticed you're using a snaffle.
I am using a snaffle. You guys usually use snaffles?
No, we use like the Myler, the Myler snaffle with the thing in the middle.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah.
I don't care. I'm just curious.
I was like, yeah, I
does
start
it
them
work?
all in a snaffle.
Yeah.
Even horses that come in riding in a shank, if it's a tune-up horse or something.
So a snaffle is the kind of bit. It's jointed in the middle. James could maybe get a close-up.
And there is
And that's an egg butt, yeah?
real purpose to the snaffle. Notice there's no way for this horse to pinch their lip on the corner. If you see those snaffles that are like the O-rings, and then the bit can slide through it, you either need to get like a bit guard
Yeah.
or a different bit.
It's called an egg butt snaffle.
Yeah. Okay, excuse me.
There's only 1,000 kinds of bits. So I'm going to go ahead and set some stuff up here.
Nice job. Oh. Nice job. Ready? Oh, no. Right there. Good boy. Nice job.
Excuse the chain. I mean, I'm going to mute myself, everyone, so you don't have to listen to the
where's
chain
my
sound.
water bottle? Oh. Come here, handsome. So notice going through a gate. I'm assuming you guys can hear me. This is still a little weird for me. Gates are really dangerous. They're pinch points, you know, and they can knock into you and send you flying. And so it's really important to have a horse that's pretty gate savvy and doesn't try to rush in when they see the gate open. Waits for you to ask him to come on in, and then turns right back around to face the entryway, okay, and then moves over with you. And all this should be able to be done on a loose rein, so that way you have room to let that horse go and know that that horse is truly under control. Good boy. Go ahead, out of my way. Nice job. Oh, where should I set this? Okay. So Erskine, as you guys can tell, I'm not hopping on him in the round pen. I'm not warming him up anymore. Not that that's not a good thing to do, not that that's what we do at home, but sometimes we do it at home, sometimes we don't. And that's just to make sure that he rides out no matter what. If he's just grabbed straight out of the pasture, or if you're wanting to work on something fun that day. All right, so I'm gonna check my cinch. Good boy. And I cinch all my horses up in increments. You know, I get it on there tight enough that the saddle's not gonna slip when I first throw it up there, but I let him walk around first before going all the way. And that tends to make horses that never get cinchy. You know, it's a little nicer way to do it, make sure the skin has time to sort of de-wrinkle underneath that girth. And I'm gonna fix my saddle pad. And you always want to pop up your saddle pad over the withers there, because that's another good pinch spot. And we just try to avoid those. So see, now I can put my hand under there. There we go. Back to the girth. Now, if your horse is squirreling all around with you while you were doing this, that would be a good indication that maybe you should do a little groundwork. But as you can see, he's holding still. He kind of knows the drill at this point. Who are you talking to? Is that a friend? Okay. Good boy. Nice, thank you. Hello. What a good boy. Never be afraid to love on your horses. And see how I rubbed him until he kind of looked away? There, brought his head back a lot faster that time, didn't he? There we go. So I'm fine giving reassurance and whatnot, and sometimes horses that are anxious, that's all that it really takes, is that kind of second to acknowledge them. So the one thing I am gonna do before I get on the ground, is this. And I'm just gonna flex his head around to the left. Good boy. Nice. And that needs to be on a soft, loose rein, loose outside rein. Good boy. Hi. We don't want our horse to walk forward with us. Good boy. Right now, again, he is a little like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Oh. And I want that horse to hold still. Good. Oh, and he needs to hold it for as long as my hand sits there. Good boy. Nice. When you first start off, just having him give it loose, then give it right back. But, you know, he's been doing this for a couple weeks now. So that's pretty good. Okay, now I'll bring him over to the mounting block. So he still kind of wants to anticipate what I'm doing here. Which we like willing horses, but anticipatory horses are not as much fun. Might have to adjust this for big guy here. Oh yeah. Excuse me. Oh. And then, since I'm doing it, I can't say enough about making sure you have good fitting tack. Because there's nothing like trying to walk around in a bad pair of shoes in Disneyland to kind of ruin your day. And that's sometimes how you have to look at it with these horses. We're like, why doesn't my horse enjoy going out on rides? It's like, well, have you looked at your saddle fitting? Maybe that has something to do with it. And a good rule of thumb for that is when you pull your tack after your ride, it should be even sweat under here where the saddle's been laying. And if there's a dry spot, that means that the circulation was cut off. That's why I didn't sweat. And that means that your saddle either needs to be re-wooled or, you know, look at the size of the bars compared to the width of the horse and the depth of the withers, all the things. So just got there. God, he's such a tub. Come here, buddy. Okay, mounting block. And come right on up. Hello. A little click.
So these balls are getting blown around a little bit too. Maybe that's a good thing.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, we can figure out something to do with that. Good boy.
Hey, buddy.
Good boy. Notice how I reward every step. Good boy. Because this is one of those things you don't want him to rush past. Good boy. Oh, that's about perfect. You know, especially if we apply this to like a trail setting, and you gotta get your horse right next to that log, and if they do a quick turnaround, maybe the footing's bad, you know, so this is a good thing to work on. Get my reins all sorted out. There we go. Gonna give him a little wiggle here. Make sure he's all braced up. Good boy. Oh. And then swing right on up. And of course, we don't want our horse to walk off on us. If they do,
Very
just
nice.
pick up that left rein, walk around. And notice how much more relaxed he is now that I'm on him and we're doing stuff. And he kind of knows, like, okay, whatever it is, like, this lady's got it.
My horse does the same thing. He
Yeah.
gets excited, and then as soon as he knows he's going to go to work,
He's like, oh, that's what we're doing. Okay, ain't no thing. So now the next thing I'm gonna do on Erskine is I'm gonna do that same flex that I just did on the ground. And notice how he walks off. Watch the block. Good boy. Nice job. Oh, but then he kept walking off. So here we go. We're gonna go again.
going forward doesn't seem to be a problem.
No, he's much more forward now, which is great. Good. Ooh. And this has kind of been his thing under saddle. And Taylor said something about, they asked him to move his hip around. Good boy. But he's starting to figure, so he's still walking off. That's fine. And notice I'm not pulling on two reins. I'm not yelling, whoa, Erskine. I'm just kind of getting through our routine here. And going, no, we don't walk until I ask you to walk. It's very willing of him, but not really what we're looking for. And that, actually, this ties right into one of the things we've been working on with Erskine at home is he's a little barn sour, is a generic term for it. But basically, you know, when he knows where he's at and if he knows he's heading home, he tends to want to speed up. And that's just what I do, you know, except I don't ask for a whoa. I just pick up that left rein, turn him around, and then walk him out of it. And then every time he trots, that's just what you do. And I usually stick to just the one side. So they know, oh, I'm trotting, she's gonna grab that left rein, turn me around and put me in a walk. It's probably just easier just to walk. I can walk faster. I don't really care if they're walking faster unless it's like crazy. You know, I like a nice fast walking horse, but I just don't want him breaking into a trot without me asking. There, so look at that horse. Now he's waiting. He's not anticipating that we're gonna go do all this stuff.
He's paying attention to you now.
Exactly. And part of that's because this is sort of his routine before we get on.
Okay.
Even if we don't do anything else besides those 2 moves, that's what we do. Okay, so now I'm just gonna ask him to start walking around this arena. And these guys here ride with 2 reins, which is just fine. So I've been riding him with 2 reins a little bit more than usual at this point. And so I'm just gonna look left here, open up that inside hand. Good. We're gonna go in between the fence and this feed tub. There we go, use our whole arena. And lo and behold, we have our first obstacle. Fantastic. I'm just gonna look forward. Good boy. And there he goes. Nice job, Erskine. Give him a little pet. I'm gonna walk to the right of the ball. Don't even look at that thing. There we go. We can walk about it later or talk about it later. Good. I'm wanting to hold the inside of that rein there. Notice last time I was here, he was diving at that gate. This time I'm kind of having to ask him to get over a little bit. So he's looking at those mats. I am just gonna ignore that for right now. I just want to walk. Oh yeah. Let out a nice big breath. Look at that. Head hanging down. And can you see how much more energy is in this walk compared to last time? If any of you guys have watched the last video. It's just a much more dynamic walk, and I'm not working here. I'm just sitting up here looking where I want to go, and my horse is just walking. And that's nice. That's what you want. I'm going between this feed tub again. I'm looking right where I want to go. Open up that right rein. A little bit of left leg came on there. And again, we're going to walk right over this. That's okay. He just kept his forward momentum a little better that time, so I'm not even worried about it. Didn't worry so much about that ball. Good. Okay. So I'm just going to slap my reins there for a second. I'm going to do a little bit of this action. And then we're going to weave these pulls. And when you're doing any sort of like weaving pattern stuff, it's easy to just make your horse zigzag through pulls. It's a little harder. Good boy. So he was like, oh, where's she want to go? To make him do it very precisely. So I'm trying to keep the same distance around the poles as I go around and make sure I have nice big loopy serpentines. There we go. That looked very nice. There we go. A little more left hand there, a little right leg. Oh, he's a little close. There we go. But notice how he slowed down and tried to figure out what it was I was asking. Here we go. Am I supposed to walk through the tires?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right. He's like, am I supposed to walk through the tires?
Whatever
Notice how
you
we're
like.
just kind
Would
of
you
on the
like,
same page now.
In a triangle?
Huh?
How about in a triangle?
Oh, I mean, I could walk through them.
Yeah, I just put him there for whatever reason.
Yeah, let's do it. I wasn't sure if this was an official obstacle that I was unfamiliar with.
It's a Kelli whatever obstacle.
It's a Kelli freestyle.
You never know what you're going to find on the
It's
trail.
true. You never know. You might have to carry a chainsaw.
You might have to and run.
And then, yeah, and then
Hi.
stand there as it's going off in your face. Yeah. Okay, you ready? So here we go. We're just going to go right over these tires.
Yes, he is. Because I'm big.
Look at that big old willing horse. Okay, that's all very nice. So we're just gonna loop right
Would you
around
like
here.
something elevated, or does it matter today?
Oh, I think that's good for today.
Okay.
We're gonna work on some other stuff here in a second. We're just gonna...
Maybe he can play soccer. I don't know that he's ever been around the ball.
Oh yeah, let's move some balls around. Okay, so we're gonna walk over this, but in the middle this time. There we go, that was nice. Oh, almost. So now, so that's the second time he half walked over it. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna go back and fix that. You know, one time, you maybe might not have yourself a bad deal. And look at that ball kind of rolling at him. He's like, oh, I don't want to walk next to that ball. But 2 times you're starting to make a habit. 3 times you for sure have taught them something, whether or not it's the right thing. Look at that bouncing ball. Oh, perfect. We're going to work on this ball now. So it's kind of moving. So I'm going to just take my hand, point it right at that ball, look at it, good, and ask him to come around. Good boy. I'm going to pick that. Can you kick it? Can you kick it, Erskine? Will you kick it for me? Yeah. What a good boy. What a good boy. Can you get that ball? Oh, yeah, that's a good boy. Nice, get it. Get that ball. We'll take him a little bit. Oh, there, he touched it. Very nice. Very nice. So we're gonna turn him a little bit, get him reoriented.
You know, getting muscled up, his back end looks a lot more stable too.
He's definitely much more coordinated. What a good boy. What a good boy. I wonder if I could make it move with my rein. He's so far up here. Good boy. All right, this is asking for it. Ready, everybody? This is asking for it.
This is asking for it?
I'm about to lean over off of my horse for my whole center of gravity out of the way and then do something scary, which is gonna make the horse want to go that way. But I'm gonna do it all.
And I'm right here, that's why.
Right here.
I can bounce it for you if you want.
This is how the professionals fall off. Okay, so I'm gonna lean down. Good boy. And good boy, you ready?
Hey, don't try this at home.
Now you see what I'm doing? I'm setting myself up for success though, because I know failure is pretty imminent. I have my left rein a little tighter. That way, if he happens to blow that way, at least his head might stay with me, right?
So you are more or less still with the horse.
I'm doing my best to stay with the horse, okay? And he just took a big sigh. That's good. That means I'm doing my job right, okay? Now the next thing I'm doing is, notice I didn't just go for it. I leaned over, petted his shoulder, and I said, are you ready, Erskine? Like, you know, like, hey, we're doing something weird right here. So I'm giving him a heads up.
Because he knows something's happening if you could see from this angle.
Yep.
He's saying, why are you falling off?
Why are you doing that? And he's like, all right, I'm pretty okay with this. Okay, you ready, Erskine? I'm gonna move my hand all weird, and then I'm gonna do that weird human thing where I just do something. Oh, what a good boy. Okay, look, we didn't die. That's great.
That's excellent.
Should have died 2 weeks ago, probably would have died.
Probably.
But that's why doing this with your horse and doing these kind of things pays off, right? Because sometimes you got to reach down and grab that blueberry, and then a squirrel jumps out. Or huckleberry, I should say. Okay, I'm going to try a little harder now. There. Good boy. Okay. Now I'm going to hustle him after it. Yay!
Yay!
Good. What a good boy. It's rolling back at us. Does he care? No, he doesn't. Look at that. And he just spooked at that ball 7.5 minutes ago. I'm so bad with time. It was probably more like 15. So I'm going to just go ahead and do it again. Good boy. Lean down. And then, hiya! Okay, ready? Go get it! Yay! Yay, good boy! Oh my God, there's 2 of them. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Yeah! Woo! So we're like, okay, we want this horse to play soccer. We didn't plan on that. Kelly threw these balls in here. I'm like, that's a challenge. I've never really done that before. But notice how the steps I picked, right? The first thing was just walking past it. The next thing was asking him to go up and check it out. The third thing was having him actually touch it with his nose. The fourth thing was having him follow it a little bit, prepping him, rolling it, and then it rolled back, hit his foot, didn't have a blow up, so I felt pretty confident I could walk this horse right into it this next time. So that's your progression, and breaking it down into comprehensive steps for horses that's what all the communication is about. You know, it's really mentally, as a human, can you figure out how to break what you're saying up into words and sentences that a horse can really understand.
When you teach kids, you don't teach them trigonometry in first grade.
You don't.
It's step.
You teach them the alphabet. Exactly.
Right.
And so you got to teach the horse the alphabet before you can ask him to do these big complex problems.
And now he's all about it. Look at him.
Good boy.
Good boy.
Good boy. You. Yeah, kick it.
He's so cool.
Kick it. Good. Good. Oh, what a good boy. It keeps rolling back. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to help him out. We're playing this game together. Ready? There's a good boy. Okay, go get it. Nice job. Yeah.
He'll be a cow horse in no time.
Okay, they're moving again. We're going to get them off of one another. Good boy. So I'm going to lean down, do it again. Notice how much more faith I'm putting in this horse now. I'm not even holding on to the
Putting
horn.
a lot of faith in that horse.
All right, there it goes. All right, good boy, good boy.
And there's one behind him.
Yeah. Now we get to chase it a little bit. This is fun. Good boy. I bet he's never done this before, huh? Yeah, nice job. There, go on, get in there. Get in there. Oh, we gotta adjust here because we want to kind of kick it down the fence. I'm gonna ask him to just sort of back up. Oh no, our ball's blowing away. That's okay. Get that cow. Oh, we're stuck in a corner, Erskine. What are we gonna do, man? All right, what we're gonna do is this. You want to lean down again? Help him out. And there we go. Oh, come on. There you go. Good boy. Good boy. We got to get it out of that corner, bud. There you go. Oh, you almost got it. You almost got it. So that's all right. I'm asking a little more of him right now. There. What a good boy. What a good boy. And he's not really sure what the heck I want to do with this ball at this point. But that time,
He just thinks people are nuts.
I mean, we can be fun, though. So I'm just looking right at that ball. I'm just waiting for him to kind of get himself situated so he has to actually walk on top of it. Good. Good. There's a good boy. So every time he touches it, notice I'm releasing him. And then we'll go right back to it. And I don't really care that he's doing all this, you know, okay, sure, it's not pretty, but right now it's not about pretty, it's about playing soccer. There's a good boy. Okay, there we go. There, good job, good boy. There, good job. Oh, you didn't get it that time. So it might seem a little bit silly to be trying to teach this horse to play soccer, but if you think about it, is it? Because there, nice. Because before we did this, I mean, he was pretty chill about everything. You know, he was like, oh, good job, good job. But this kind of made him a little nervous. Go and get it. Get that. Get it, kick it. Oh, no. There! Don't let it get in the corner. There's a good boy. Oh, we're stuck. He made a goal!
He did go!
Nice job. So he wasn't perturbed really about anything before that, right? He was doing everything we wanted. I mean, okay, he walked around a little bit on that left side. Whatever, got over it just fine. Went over the pallet bridge. That last time, I believe it was that same pallet bridge, took what, like 10, 12 minutes or something? And then we found something, right? We found something that Erskine wasn't doing perfect. And that's really where you grow with your horses. You just gotta keep challenging them and looking for the things that they just don't do perfect. And maybe
and it goes to trusting you and the communication again, because it had to do with going forward. It had to do with listening to being soft.
Being soft and going where I was putting him. You know, it had to also deal with like try, right? I didn't initially want to make a goal. I actually didn't plan that. I should have said I planned it, but I didn't. But I quit the first time I asked when he touched it, and then build him all the way up to this. So I think that's a fun place to stop right there, and can lead us to our next segment. Although I don't have a watch on me, you got to keep me posted on time. We're okay. An hour today?
Yes, 3 o'clock. We started about 2:20.
2:20. Okay, perfect. That should give us plenty of time. So we're going to, what do we want to do, Erskine?
Have you been backing him?
I have been working on his back, which was...
Is there a growing edge?
Yeah, there was room to grow. There was room to grow. So that'd be a good thing to touch on for a couple minutes, is how you want a horse to back. And the first thing that you need from a horse to get a good back is actually a good forward. He's like, wait, we're not playing soccer anymore? I just want to do that all the time on him now. Is a good forward. So look, we have our nice forward. He's walking out. This is great. So there's a camera right there, okay. Oh. The next thing you kind of want is a nice little whoa like that. I just gotta sit back on him and say whoa, and I don't actually have to use those reins. There, okay. There's your first lesson. Notice how he's loose reins. I'm not asking anything of him. Good boy. And then I'm gonna pick up here. And he's already going, oh, she's moving her hands. What's she gonna do? But he's not over anticipating. He's just listening with those cute little ears, pinned straight back at me. Oh, now he's forward. So she's talking about me. So here we go. I've gathered my reins, but look at my arms. They're way out here. So technically speaking, my reins aren't any shorter. He's already thinking about it. Because I'm prepping myself. I want to make sure everything's in line to ask this horse to back up to set them up for success, because there's nothing like getting your face pulled on to make you not want to do something for someone, especially when you don't know what it means. So here we go. I haven't put any pressure on him. I'm just ready. And now I'm going to sit back, close my hands around those reins, sit back and say back, good, and release right there. And that was beautiful and soft. And like I said, we have been working on this. No, he's not exactly where I want him, but he'll get there.
But before there was no.
Yeah, before it was a lot of pulling and a lot of head coming up, a lot of mouthing about his face, and stuff like that. And a lot of that comes from horses that might be broke and had a nice handle or something, and then you're starting to see problems, is faster releases.
Yes.
If you can get a little faster on that release, then those things can sort of just heal on their own. So I'm going to sit back now and ask again. Back, back, good, back, good. Notice I'm not releasing 100% now. Back. But he moves back, I give him a little bit right there. Why? Because this is very not forward back. It sounds a little contradictory, but there's not a lot of energy there. And that's also something we've been working on. Good boy. Good. So I'm going to keep asking a little bit longer and with a little more intensity. Because yes, he's doing it, but he's not trying quite hard enough. Good.
But his head's not coming way up, and
his head is not coming up nearly as far as it used to. It still could it could come down. And then he could also break over his pole, lift his back.
So just everyone knows, breaking at the pole means basically his nose drops.
Yeah. And so if you guys can see, when I pull on Erskine, his head doesn't really change that much. This angle from like his nostril to his ear to his wither, we'll pick that angle right there. He does go backwards, but that angle doesn't really change. So one of the things that we'll be working on the next 2 weeks is getting him to learn how to use his body a little better. Oh, and one of those things is getting their weight onto their hind end when you're backing up. You have to do it as a rider too. You can't expect a horse to get their weight on the hind end when you're leaning forward like this trying to back him. I don't think that's fair.
Yeah.
So shift your center of gravity back, which when you're riding is here, okay? When you're just walking, it's up here, but you have to take the horse's center of gravity right there, okay? And yours all the way up here, and make them meet right in the middle. And so it's a good thing to remember as far as balance goes and all that stuff.
And that's why when you go down a hill, you lean back to keep the center of gravity the same, and when you go up a hill, you lean forward a little bit.
And the horse's weight also in their body is like 60-40. So their head and neck give them that extra 20%. And so they're actually lighter in the hind end, which is, again, why it's important if you want that weight to go to the hind end to shift yours back. So I'm going to shift my weight back. Again, he's not braking at the pole like we just talked about. And that means this horse really can't use his hind end. There, that looked a little nicer. See how he gave a little bit? There wasn't much momentum to his back, but he's also really learning how to engage his hind end right now. So here you go, back.
And this is reminding me of how he was resistant forward a little bit. Now he's being resistant back.
Yeah, exactly. It's very similar, and there's, you know, all sorts of reasons for it, I suppose, that he's told me, so who knows if they're true or not. See, that's pretty. That's pretty. But he didn't.
Did you
step
notice
yet.
how the angle changed from his neck and head?
And breaking at the pole.
Smaller.
Now, that was pretty, but it wasn't right. Why? Because his back still didn't come up and his weight wasn't on his hind end. But at least he got one part of the equation. Back. Good. I'm going to give a little baby. Good. And we got a little more energy. Good boy. Come on, buddy. Give me more. Oh, now I released there even though his nose was kind of up because he gave me 2 faster steps. So we'll walk him forward again. Just on a nice loose rein. We don't want him to think we're micromanaging him. Oh.
No one likes micromanaging.
Nobody likes that. Right? This is a trusting relationship. Oh. So now he's like, oh, okay, I got energy. Knows how you want to go forward. That's great. All right, that's fine, but let's put it in the right direction. So I'm going to sit back.
He really hasn't used, you could even tell just how his muscle development was. He hasn't used his hind end properly in a while.
Good boy. Notice those little baby releases. Good. Good. That looks a lot nicer. And felt a lot nicer. It felt like my horse was with me instead of sort of like strung out and trying to just figure out how to get backwards.
So next time someone goes down a hill, you have to you have to go backwards to the ranch and get the chainsaw and then back your horse back, and then you'll be fine.
Yeah. We'll have to work up to that one. Good job. Okay, now see how he's kind of chomping. Well, he was there for a second. Chomping on the bit. That's a little bit of a sign of anxiety, because he's thinking extra overtime and stuff. And so I'm going to reward that effort with just a quick walk around. So I'm going to click, just put my hand out, look where I want to go.
And he's not coming to me to be saved like last time?
No, he's not, but look, for the first time.
Oh, the gate.
He was thinking about the gate. Why? Because things weren't fun anymore, right? Backing's not fun. Soccer balls are fun, bridges are fun, walking around's fun. But maybe backing isn't as fun. You know, it's a little harder. So he's like, okay, I think maybe I'm done. And instead,
to be done.
Instead, we're not done.
We're not done.
We're not done. So it's okay, though. You can correct that in a really positive way. What did I want to do with this horse? I wanted to walk around, so we walked around by the gate. Now I'm asking him to actually turn this way here. Good. Notice how I did look to see what he was looking at, and I took my attention right back to him. I said, what's that? Nothing. Okay? You don't want to ignore horses that are looking around. Look at what they're looking at, and then be there for them. Good boy. I'm gonna, right here, come up and, oh, you anticipator. Notice how he heard the and he started to stop. This is why I shouldn't talk to myself while I'm training. They know English, I tell you. Okay, so here we're gonna do it this direction now. Look, he's already getting ready. As soon as I start gathering those reins, he was getting ready, which is nice. I'll pet him for that. Okay, now I'm gonna sit back and go back, back, back. Use my legs a little, back, back, back. So his head's starting to break, right? But we're still not much energy there. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
From this angle, you can really see when his legs are under him and they're not.
Good. Okay. So you can see how I built up that, but you're entirely right. Yeah. Seeing when he's stepping underneath himself. And that'll keep your horse's back nice and strong too over the long run. You know, building up these muscles here, doing exercises like that, make sure you have the right back will keep that top line nice and sturdy for you. But I want to talk about the progression.
Okay.
So we started, maybe I should turn. I'm gonna ask a little something different here. I want a loose pivot on the hind end. Which you need to have a nice back for. Good boy. Notice I'm using there my supporting rein here, my outside rein, to help keep that head straight, because you can't ask a horse to step that hind end over if they're bent around. That naturally makes that hip come around. So here we go. Oh, he's a little too forward, set him back. Good. And again, notice how slow I ask for everything. Giving the horse really time to think through. Good. So that, you know, that wasn't pretty, but I am facing the right direction. Ish.
Yeah, I'm watching his back end. It's not under him very often, is it?
No. And part of that's just about, you know, conditioning, and coordination and the kind of ground they cover and whatnot. And then part of that is also just being a tendency walker. They're a little parked out naturally. And that's that gaited horse. But that doesn't mean he can't use his hind end.
Right.
It's just something that he gets to work out a little bit. Good. Okay, so again, we're just gonna go through all the transitions here. And so I gathered myself, I set myself up correctly, and then I just, first step was just to close my hands on that rein and see what happened.
Look at that.
And he leans back. Good. So the next step, now if they walk forward, feel free to close your hands and stop that forward momentum. Now my next step was getting 1 or 2 steps, right? Good. That's nice. My third step is getting 1 or 2 with a little breakage over the pole, and ideally a little more energy. If we don't get it this time, we'll just do it on our 4th step. Okay. If not, we'll quit at 3. Ready? Back. Back. Good. He's breaking over the pole. Good. Back. He was. Good. Back. 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 Good boy. Back. We're running out of space, so that's okay. He still hasn't given me either one of the things that I asked for. I did ask for more energy, and he's kind of giving me more energy, but it feels very, very sluggish under saddle here. And I know this horse well enough at this point to know when he's being sluggish and when he's really trying. Good boy. Okay, so I'm just gonna face this the other way and just continue the exercise. So back, good, back, good, back, 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 back. You wanna keep them straight. Good, back. Oh, that's starting to get a little freer off my hands. I'm not dragging on him every step. Notice I can give, oh, we almost had it. It's getting a little bound up. That's all right. Notice I'm still, yes, Erskine. Okay, he broke at the pole and he gave me really good energy from there to there, but he didn't get the pole in there. So I'm gonna just go, yeah! And look at those ears coming forward. He's like, oh, I'm thinking really hard right now. I'm thinking really hard.
That's a lot of work for him.
It is, and it's complicated. I mean, it's like someone asking you to balance a stack of plates on your head. Oh, shoulders back. Oh no, walk with your hips under you, you know, and like I'm making him change what he does and has done for the last 12 years of his life.
Well, you know, we've talked about muscle memory with riders, and he has muscle memory as well.
Absolutely. And, you know, you can get by with a really stiff back if you're not doing a lot of stuff, but